morning guys, Sam here, and yes, here I am with another Christmas review for you this month, just before Christmas Day. And it's going to be an episode on a show that I've never covered before, and I haven't really watched until just a couple weeks ago. And that show is My Life as a Teenage Robot. It was a show that aired from 2003 to 2009 for 3 seasons and 39 episodes. It was fun, action-packed, funny, likable, underrated, and, like many different Nickelodeon cartoons, was completely mishandled by the company.
Sorry, but if you're not SpongeBob and you're not as popular as SpongeBob, we get to treat you like shit.
But regardless, I have started to watch some episodes and have grown to like it. Now, I haven't seen every single episode yet, but I'm planning to as we get into the new year. And speaking of planning, turns out I wasn't really going to do this review at first. I was just going to have the Christmas tree review and that's it. But as I've started to watch this show, I found out that in their first episode of Season 2, they had a Christmas special. Yeah, they really started off the season like that. So what are we waiting for? Let's go ahead and get ourselves right into it. And of course, like I have in my other reviews, I'll quickly go over the story first and then give you my thoughts on the episode afterwards. You ready? Alright, here we go. 'Twas the day of Christmas, and all through every house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Except a big gigantic robot disguised as Santa giving out all the presents to good girls and boys all over the world. Yeah, that'd be one hell of a start to a classic Christmas story. Yeah, that's XG9, aka Jenny Wakeman. She was delivering all the presents to all the good girls and boys all over the world because, well, Santa got himself in a full body cast. So, to show his appreciation, he has Jenny, her mother, Brad, Tuck, and Sheldon join them for a lovely Christmas feast. And this is where we get the episode's musical number, which is pretty nice. Afterwards, the gang head to the mall to get some gifts of their own, but there they come across a rich, miserable-looking boy named Todd Sweeney. And no, he does not commit murder while shaving someone. Jenny takes pity on him as he admits to being one who seems to have everything, but not what he really wants. So, what does he want? To keep Jenny as his little robot friend for a day. What is this? Detroit become human? And especially since the robot's a girl, No, I am not going down that rabbit hole, no. Anyway, it seems to be just a simple gift, but Jenny quickly finds out that Todd doesn't just want her as his robot for a day, he wants her as his slave forever. So he knocks her out and straps her to a table, but Jenny seemingly wakes up a few hours later and escapes. So, okay, that seemed to be a bit anticlimactic, but here comes a big gigantic twist. Remember how I put an emphasis on the seemingly got out a few hours later? Well, let me explain. When Jenny goes back to town, she discovers that the entire town either is afraid of her or hates her. Even Brad, Tuck, and Jen's own mother turn their backs on her. So Jenny is on her own being public enemy number 1, and she doesn't know why. But finally, things are explained to her by the only person that still trusts her, Sheldon. Turns out she wasn't gone for only a few hours. She was gone for nearly a year. And during that, she was controlled by Todd Sweeney to ruin all of the holidays. You name it, New Year's, Groundhog Day, 4th of July, Halloween, and even Thanksgiving. Jeez, and I thought that the most disappointing thing that could happen on Thanksgiving was seeing the Detroit Lions lose. Again. Seriously, are they ever going to be good anytime soon? So after getting all the details, Jenny goes back to confront Todd Sweeney, but Todd uses his mind control device on her and plans to use her to destroy Christmas. By controlling Jenny, Todd's able to fight off Santa's elves at the North Pole and even go toe-to-toe with a very fit Santa Claus. He's kind of like the Santa in regular show. The only big difference is that while the Santa in regular show had chiseled abs, this guy is kind of like Poe in Kung Fu Panda. He doesn't look very fit, but he can do pretty well in a fight. But even he can't stop Todd, as it looks like he will ruin Christmas. But thankfully, Jenny uses the villain's gloating as an opportunity to grab him and stop him. And after that, things go right again. Christmas is saved, the gang gives away the presents to all the good kids, Todd Sweeney turns over a new leaf, Sheldon gets a mistletoe kiss, and the special ends with the characters singing the number from the beginning of the special, while Tuck breaks the fourth wall by asking what the hell is going on. The end. So that's the story. What are my thoughts? Well, let's talk about the good stuff first. 1. It is not the Christmas tree. Major plus. Number 2. The essential things like direction, animation, and voice acting are really good. Number 3. I like how the beginning subverted my expectations. You know how some Christmas stories have like a main character or maybe a bunch of main characters try to help out Santa or some other icon on Christmas by delivering that one present to someone particularly special or deliver a bunch of presents to an entire town or city or anything like that. You know, kind of like what Arthur Christmas did. Yeah, that story's been done plenty of times, so it was kind of surprising to see this episode wrapping up that kind of story in just a couple minutes at the beginning. So for anybody that's new to this special and doesn't know anything about it, I like that it actually gets you guessing as to what the real story is. I do really like that subversion. Number 4. Todd Sweeney is a very diabolical bastard, and I do like how he was able to control Jenny without her realizing it. And we find out that it was him that put Santa in a full body cast. And turns out that's not the only thing he's done.
I've tried to ruin Christmas before. My first attempt was a giant fog bank, but a certain mutant reindeer ruined that plan.
Well, I guess we just discovered that Rudolph is, well, canon in the My Life as a Teenage Robot universe. Go figure, I guess. And the villain's voice is nice too, although it is very similar to another person's voice.
I almost triumphed last year by incapacitating Claus himself until you stepped in and spoiled everything.
Boys like video games, girls like makeup. We're different! That's why we have different bathrooms!
Am I in the wrong room?
Nothing makes sense anymore!
Well, regardless, he does do a fine job. Number 5. The action scenes are pretty cool. It's not very fast-paced like, say, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's not super slow either. It's all at a nice pace, and I did like the fight with Santa, too. And number 6, I did like the big twist with Jenny finding out she was mind controlled for nearly a year. Not only are the ways she destroys some of the holidays both funny and creative, but it's also kinda sad because you know the real Jenny wouldn't do that. So I did feel bad seeing her run away from the town and the law. And it was nice that Sheldon, of all people, was the only one that believed she was innocent. So yeah, he did deserve that mistletoe kiss. So, okay, it seems like this episode is pretty damn good, right? I mean, it must be really good enough to get like a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, right? Well, unfortunately, no. It does have some problems. First, I don't mind the town being afraid/hating Jenny for her ruining the holidays, but I do mind seeing Brad, Tuck, and the mother turning their backs on Jenny. I mean, they're supposed to be Jenny's closest allies, right? They should have known she wouldn't really do all of this on purpose. I mean, I thought they were best friends, family even. Even when Sheldon tries to explain what's going on, they still don't believe it. But when it gets to the end of the climax, then they're like, oh, we knew you were being controlled the whole time. Look, I know this was done for drama, and in this scene in particular for comedy, but A, it just seems off that the people Jenny can trust the most turn their backs on her and even threw snowballs at her, and B, it just wasn't that funny. Second, the villain's motivation is really cliched. I mean, don't get me wrong, they give him a sad backstory where he gets abandoned by his parents on Christmas so they can go on a retirement cruise. I could definitely sympathize with him, but like many villains before and after him, his plan is basically, if I can't have this joy, then no one can.
That day, I vowed that if I could feel no holiday joy, then neither would anyone else.
Yeah, please try to tell me that you haven't heard this plan before. Third, the backstory, while sad, has a little issue in it. That being, how long ago did the parents abandon Todd? I mean, here's what he looked like when they left him. Maybe he's around 3 or 4 years old, I guess. But here he is in the present, and I don't know how old he is. Hell, even the show's wiki doesn't know. He has the size of a child, but he has the face of a depressed guy in his mid-30s. Maybe even a face that the boss from Incredibles would make. And since they tell us that he's tried to ruin Christmas before, it does seem like years have gone by, but we don't know how long. If they just had an extra scene or just one line of dialogue or a little graphic to show us how long ago it was, it could have been clarified more, especially since the parents came back at the end and say that they were gone so long because they were tired, not retired, and wanted to give Todd the perfect gift. I don't know, maybe it's a nitpick, but it just bothers me. But the last problem I have with this special is right at the end of the climax. Now, with the other ones I brought up, you could argue that those are nitpicks, but this problem I do really think is a real legitimate problem with the special. It's in the scene where it seems likely that Santa won't be Jenny, who is still being controlled by Todd Sweeney. But like a dumbass, he jumps out of her body and declares himself to be the kid who ruined Christmas even though he hasn't officially won yet. Then Jenny grabs him, seemingly out of Todd's control, gives him a spanking. Jenny's friends bust in through the roof, and then we get this line.
What's going on? Where's all the butt kicking? Well, as I was just explaining, Sheldon disabled Todd Sweeney's mind control device. I was just faking it until Todd confessed in front of Santa.
So Sheldon deactivated the mind control device, and turns out Jenny was just faking it the whole time? Okay, here's a couple reasons why I have a problem with that. One, we never see Sheldon do that. I mean, you could argue that they did it, like, after Sheldon filled her in on what was going on, but that does sound like a stretch. I mean, the last time we see him is when he fails to explain what's going on to Jenny's allies, and that's it. We don't see him again until the ending. And it seemed to me that Jenny still didn't know where the device was in this scene, so it just doesn't make sense. Two, if she was faking it the whole time, does that mean that Jenny legitimately beat up those elves, Santa, and ruined all the gifts that were supposed to be given to her town just so she can find the perfect moment to get right behind Todd and, grab him? Again, if they had just given us an extra scene of Sheldon actually deactivating the device, it would have helped this episode more. I don't know if it was production issues or someone just forgot, but because a scene like that isn't in here, it makes it very hard for me to believe this Sheldon deactivated line. So yeah, this special clearly isn't perfect, and it does have some problems. But despite all that, I still really think that special is good. I mean, hell, after sitting through this crap, I would prefer to watch this more. I would rather watch a special that is flawed but still good rather than this again. It still does have good animation, good voice acting, good comedy, good action, the spirit of Christmas is in there, and the villain, while flawed, was still fun. Even the musical number was pretty good. I can't play the entire thing because, copyright and all that, but it's still good and you can find the lyrics on the wiki. Although it does have one lyric that might get a bunch of pre-adolescent boys to snicker at. You know that gay is another word for happy, right? And the ending was pretty funny too. It's when we get a reprise of the song from earlier. Everyone is singing it and everyone's happy, but then Tuck comes in asking questions like, how do you all know the lyrics? Who are you singing to? What the hell is going on? It's gotta be one of the funniest fourth wall breaks I've seen in a while. So yeah, despite the flaws, I really do think this special was good, and I really do recommend it. Not just to people who are fans of the show, but to people that don't even know what the show is about. And I do recommend it to people that like Christmas specials, too. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it still is solid. And if I had to give it a final score, I would have to give it a 7 out of 10. So there you go, guys, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And one more thing. If the only reason you know about Jenny Wakeman is because of that risque video, please watch the show. I mean, don't make that the only reason as to why you know about this lovable character.
I say whoa in the robot. I say whoa in the robot. I say whoa in the robot. I say whoa in the robot.
Oh, don't worry about Mickey. As a Christmas present, I'll send him to the hospital. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, my name is Sam, and good night, everybody, and have a happy Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. Wait, it's Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas! Happy New Year! Oh, filthy... Okay, you know what? Christmas is tomorrow. I'm not even gonna bother to do another take. I'm not bothering. No, I'm not bothering. No.